Welcome to this week's episode of the Last Night's Game podcast. I'm your host, Amy Butchon Siegfried, and I am so happy to have you here with us today to talk about our favorite game day cocktails and the rituals that go around them. And what a perfect conversation starter for happy hour of the office, whatever that might be. And even if you don't imbibe in cocktails and you really prefer a mocktail, still plenty for you here today. And here to join me in the conversation is my favorite brother, my favorite co host, Scott. Scott, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me on today to talk about one of your most favorite subjects we talk about all year. And it's the best conversation starter. You don't have to be a sports fan. You
That's
have to be
why
a happy hour fan, a brunch fan,
a fan of get-togethers.
a fan of Get Together, Sunday Fun Day fan.
That's exactly
And
it.
we're going to give you something to talk about.
Well, and that's what I said. Normally, I get to ask the questions, and I'm like, "This one I can actually talk about. I know some of these things."
Mhm.
So it's fun to feel now I know what you feel like as the I wouldn't call myself an expert, but as the person who actually knows what's happening here today. I appreciate that.
We're tapping into your expertise. Maybe I should be asking you the questions this week, but
Well, I mean, maybe not so much because
mhm.
you brought some really good ones to the table in our lineup today. So I guess let's start ourselves off with if you don't have a fan to cheer or team to cheer for this week, who are we cheering for in this week's podcast?
Tennis fans
Okay.
and their ability to drink, which is upping prize money for the players. So your enjoyment of these cocktails we'll discuss is helping pay your favorite players. So everyone wins.
Well, that's what I loved this year that came out. The US Open basically said, "Hey, we charge $23 for a Honey Deuce," which
Mhm.
is their Grey Goose cocktail with lemonade, raspberry liqueur, and it has 3 little honeydew melon balls that look like tennis balls in it and became this viral social photo, right? Everyone's got the picture of the cup with their
Yes.
hand and with the tennis court in the back. And they sold about $17 million worth of those cocktails at 23 bucks a pop. That's a lot of cocktails. And so that money, they really came out and said, I don't know if they actually came out, but that was implied that basically they have made more than they thought they were originally. And so that has helped them up the prize money at the US Open.
It was record for any tennis tournament, I believe, this year. So and a 32% jump in the drinks this year sold. So next year is going to be even higher for these players. Incredible marketing by the US Open they have their cups that say US Open and everyone takes pictures, do their TikToks and Insta faces and things like that to
That
help the
thing.
players out. Yes,
But now
snap face.
it becomes a thing, like going to the Kentucky Derby, you have to have 1 mint julep. You're probably not gonna drink more than 1, at least you might, but there's a lot consumed, but you have to
Yeah.
have 1. Now, if I went to a US Open match, I would have to have 1, and you'd have to take the picture because now it's
Yes.
become a thing.
Yeah. The $23, honestly, they could probably charge whatever they want and it doesn't necessarily matter.
Well, heck, we've been
Right.
to Golden Knights games and paid $30 for a cocktail that has nothing pretty like that.
In a plastic cup.
Right, in a plastic cup
Yeah.
that's not branded.
Not
It
at
has no
all.
little hockey pucks in it.
It doesn't. Maybe they should hockey puck ice cubes.
I mean,
Think about it. You're welcome.
you could up your price to $40 because 30 was not enough for 1 drink.
No, it's not. It may even be more. And let's question, do people actually like mint juleps or they just drink them because they're told they're cool?
In my personal opinion, I am not a huge mint julep fan. I've been to the Kentucky Derby and I had 1. And then like most normal humans, you drink what you normally would drink at an
An
outing. But
event.
judging by the amount of drunk people at the Kentucky Derby, someone is drinking the mint juleps.
Someone is at least one.
Someone is drinking them because that place is like a sticky frat house by the end of the race. Like, the ground is sticky, it's
Mhm.
gross. Like, if you drop something, you just let it go.
Just let
It's just yeah. So it's one of those things, like, I think the Kentucky Derby comes across with this classy vibe of all the dressing up, and
yeah,
it's
your cool hats.
yeah, it's a hot mess by the end.
But does maybe smell like mint instead of like old beer. So maybe that's nice.
Oh, I don't remember the scent of it, to be quite
Or
honest with
horse
you.
poop or something.
Yeah, I mean, it probably smelled like dirt and people
That's bad enough. Yeah.
because it was also really cold.
And it rained too. So I'm sure that,
Yeah, it almost snowed the day before. It was cold enough to snow. That's how for the Kentucky Oaks, so but those are, once again, going back to that, maybe that's why you drink so many mint juleps.
yeah.
It warms you up, makes your bedding
That's
better.
something's gotta help.
Something's gotta help, right? But
Yeah.
I wanna talk really quickly on tennis, though, because I wanna go back to this tennis fan showing up with their cocktails. Let's talk about Wimbledon really quickly on this, because Wimbledon is known for their Pimm's Cup,
Mhm.
which is a gin-based cocktail. Have you ever had Pimm's Cup?
No, we have not. I don't think we ever made it for any videos, so maybe we'll have to make it this upcoming Wimbledon.
I think this Wimbledon, you're gonna have to make one. I had one once because we were on a trip with some friends, and one of our guy friends went around to every bar we went to. I think we were in
Mhm.
somewhere in Southern California. I'm trying to remember if that was the trip. Asked every bartender to make him a Pimm's Cup with a British accent. This
How
is
many
the
how many knew how to?
well, only one had Pimm's out of all the places we had gone over a whole weekend. So, shout out to Justin and his Pimm's.
Yeah, and the Pimm's is it also caused some controversy
It
as
does?
well. It
Why?
does, with the opening of champagne bottles
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, Pimm's, so you have
throughout
Pimm's Cup,
play, I
and
guess.
then I would say I'm curious to look at the numbers if Pimm's I'd have to do the math on how many glasses come out of a bottle of champagne. So they sell about 300,000 Pimm's Cups
Mhm.
at Wimbledon, but they also sell about an average of 28 to 29,000 bottles of champagne at Wimbledon, which in my mind is like watching Wimbledon, like that's to me, that's the unofficial or official cocktail of Wimbledon.
Yes, a classy opening of champagne bottles. This is kind of math I figured you would know how many glasses in
I
a
could do the
bottle of
math really
champagne.
quick on my phone. I can't drive 28,000. But the
We'll report
sound
back. Stay
report
tuned.
back. I'll get to that while you tell the story about champagne
Yes,
bottle corks and the sound of champagne is synonymous with Wimbledon.
in between serves. This year we had Iga Swiatek, who won her first Wimbledon. She gave a shout out to the champagne and the Pims, I guess. She said, I will always remember opening of champagne bottles in between serves, a sound that will keep me up at night. I will enjoy these moments. So that's something wonderful to take away from her first Wimbledon.
Yeah, and when you watch matches, you can
Mhm.
hear the corks popping.
Yeah, now that you're clued in, you'll definitely hear.
Hmm, 100%. So, I don't think that sounds right. I get my math is wrong on the thing, so never mind, just
Well, I
ignore
guess
that.
a glass of champagne is relative to what you want it to be. A full bottle could be one.
Well, that's kinda what I was debating on doing the math because when we
Yeah.
lived in Singapore, a bottle of wine poured 5 glasses of wine, whereas most places, a bottle of wine is 4 glasses of wine.
So
There's
there we
that.
go. So shout out to tennis fans.
Shout out to tennis fans for making some money for some people to get some great prize money and equal
Yes.
prize money. Tennis is one of those great sports that has equal prize money between men and women.
And they're being rewarded.
And there you go. Now
Yes.
give me a if you were gonna have a go-to conversation starter with anyone in happy hour around game day drinks, what would that be?
Bowling balls.
Okay, let's talk about bowling, something we've never talked about on the podcast, I don't think.
This is the first mention of bowling, I'm quite sure, on
I'm
this
quite sure.
podcast. And actually, there's nothing to do with bowling balls, but tailgating to the
Okay.
most extreme levels. So Buffalo Bills fans, actually known as Bills Mafia, they are world famous for their tailgates. No rules, everything's on the tape. They're jumping off cars and smashing tables. They're drinking at 8 a.m. in negative degree weather for a 5 p.m. game. So they go all out. The Mafia enjoys themselves before the game to stay warm. You have to in Buffalo. And we have the famous bowling ball drink, which I don't know if you remember when Jason Kelsey, when the Chiefs played, I think it was 2 seasons ago when he ended up shirtless in the crowd.
Yes.
He left the suite and ended up shirtless in the crowd. I think mentioned he had a few too many bowling ball drinks, which is synonymous with just drinking shots out of a bowling ball.
Like, out of the holes in the bowling ball?
Yes.
That have
Yes,
had, like, people's, like,
out of the
nacho
thumb hole. Out of the thumb hole, I apologize.
that have, like, people's, like, nacho hands
Yeah,
from, like yeah,
doesn't
I mean,
matter.
like, that's, like, the grossest part about
Yeah,
bowling is
yeah, it's usually a cherry liqueur, and it's part of the famous Pinto Ron tailgate. So,
okay.
when
Bills
you
fan,
happen to find yourself in Buffalo on a Sunday morning,
I'd have to do it.
you have to do it.
I would have to do it, just like I'd have to get a Honey Deuce.
Exactly, and yeah, I don't think they're certainly not as expensive as a Honey Deuce
No,
or a Pimm's Cup, so
BYO bottle of cherry liqueur.
BYOB. Yes. Yes, so tailgates and bowling.
Okay. Well, it kind of reminded me of, like, another weird drink, and this is not, like, a one for everybody,
Mhm.
but, Daniel Ricciardo from an F1 driver, he used to do a shoey. So when he would
Yes.
win, at the end, they would spray each other with champagne. he would drink he would drink champagne out of his shoe that he had just worn the entire, like, 2 hour, hour and a half, 2 hour race. He would drink out of his shoe.
Yes, you would. And I think it's more of a, I don't want to culture appropriate anyone, but I think it's more of an Australian slash New Zealand, mostly Australian celebration. There's actually a UFC fighter who will get his shoe after a fight and pour a beer on the way out and drink it with fans. So,
Okay, well, I've never
but
learned this
the
from any of
beer
my
kills
hockey
any
friends.
the beer kills any germs or bacteria that you may be drinking.
I'm not counting on the cherry liqueur killing the germs, let alone a beer. But regardless,
No,
I think I'm not sure if the bowling ball would be cleaner or dirtier than the
that's true. They're both very clean, I'm sure. And a fun fact, I have had to do a shoey once.
Okay. Did you lose a bet?
And in rugby,
Okay.
also it's very big in rugby culture as well. I had to do one once, and everyone they put whatever they want in it, maybe some spit, maybe some other things, and I had to do it, and I threw up immediately. It's not Daniel Ricciardo got it pretty easy with just beer, so it's on the tame side,
So you
especially
got, like,
after a match.
so they, like, jungle juiced stuff in a shoe and you had to drink it?
Yeah, and more than just alcohol. It's very disgusting.
I'm gagging just thinking about it.
So stick with just the beer's fine.
Oh,
No problem, yeah.
yuck. Okay, well, I'm gonna change that subject because
Yeah.
you're making my stomach upset. I
I
need to
did
go get some
survive. I'm here today.
crackers, and your gut health is better for it.
Yes, I got a lot of immunity that day, I think, from a lot of things.
So if you wanna fire up a sports fan, talk about
Hottie toddy and hot toddy.
okay, I know what a hot toddy is. What's the hottie toddy scenario happening here?
This may be obviously, we're not in the South, so this may not be anyone apply to anyone in the South, but there are some misconceptions when researching for this particular podcast of the hot toddy and the hottie toddy. And the hot toddy, as you know, is a nice drink for the winter. Keep you nice and warm.
Mhm.
And whiskey, hot water, honey, lemon juice, garnished with a cinnamon stick or lemon slice.
Sounds
It's
lovely.
kind of smells and tastes like winter. And then we have the hottie toddy, which is Old Miss. That's their like saying that they yell at each other, and they are not the same thing.
Okay.
So don't
So
be
what
confused.
so there's a full chant I see in these notes
Yes,
from Ole Miss. Would you like to do the chant?
I think you got this one.
Okay, so it looks like "Hotty toddy, gosh almighty, who the hell are we? Hey, flim, flam, bim, bam, Ole Miss by damn." Ole Miss fans, I hope I at least made you since recently slightly proud. Very interesting, but it came from they say it may
Hmm.
have come from a military cheer for a Virginia Tech regimental band, which doesn't make sense why Ole Miss does it, but whatever, called the Heidi Tidies,
Yes. So
reference to the term hoity-toity. That is a
hoity-toity.
whole lot of like that should be a Dr. Seuss book.
It is. It's kind of there's a lot going on there. So I know there's been a lot of controversy about these two being the same thing, but they are not.
'Kay, noted. If you go to an
So
Ole Miss game, they're not
you can
serving
have a
hotty
hot
toddies.
you can have a hot toddy while yelling hottie toddy and
Probably.
solve both problems there.
I need someone who has been to an Ole Miss game to tell me if they serve hotty toddies there,
In the
or hot
Grove,
toddies.
the very classy tailgate scene in the Grove at Ole Miss.
I don't know about this tailgate scene.
Everyone dresses up and is very fancy as they get intoxicated before football games.
It's true though, when you go to games in the South, people,
Yeah,
like, dress up. When you go to games in, Arizona State and UNLV, if you tailgate because it's probably too damn
it's
hot,
too hot. Yes,
you're in, like, shorts and a tank top and flip-flops.
yes.
I
Now you're
remember a friend worked for ASU, and they went to play Georgia, and this was kinda when they started picking up these big games. This was a long time ago. But they
yeah,
had to, like, send out a memo to everyone in the traveling party for ASU to say, "You have to dress up for these games. This is a business suit in the suite. This is a, like, dress
yeah.
in heels, ladies, for the football game," because that's just not something that we do.
Not on the West Coast. No.
Yeah, so very, very interesting. Now, I
Yes.
wanna do a couple of honorable mentions because we have a few minutes, and there are
Mhm.
a few out there that I want people to be prepared if they go to these events. Most notably, we've already talked about the mint julep. I love the Bloody Marys on the 16th hole at the Phoenix Open. It's not the Phoenix Waste Management Open. Is that
Mhm.
what it's called now? Yes. It's changed names. Okay, Waste Management. So the 16th hole is the one you might recognize if you see in golf. It's fully surrounded by fans.
Yeah.
And if you have the luck and the pleasure of being able to sit in a suite or have tickets to the certain area, they have all these Bloody Mary bars. And it took me the first time I was there, I was like, why is that Bloody Mary line bigger than that line? Like, what? It's a Bloody
Mhm,
Mary. No, it's not. The tournament provides the bare minimum, right? The vodka, the tomato juice, or the Bloody Mary mix,
mhm,
and maybe like an olive or something. So the bartenders bring in their own stuff. I mean, like there was one lady who was like had mini sliders. I mean, all these things, and they're basically getting tipped really well because they have the best Bloody Mary. And so it's really interesting when you go there, you've got to try at least 2 or 3 or 4. Golf
mhm.
takes a long time.
It does.
And so it's really interesting to see that the people who work the bar, the bartenders, that they bring their whole like a whole cooler full of stuff to make their special Bloody Marys for the whole time.
Okay, did not know that. Now
I
that explains a lot about the rowdiness of the 16th hole,
Bloody Marys, or
the
probably the
Bloody
beer
Marys.
too, but,
You gotta start with the Bloody Mary to
right, for breakfast, and
for
get this
breakfast, and then if you got a slider in there, that's a whole full meal.
that is breakfast. That is college breakfast right there. If it's a cold
Yes.
slider, maybe a cold piece of pizza.
Hair of the dog with some food.
Yeah, pretty much. Now here's one that you've been to, so you can speak to it better than I can, but the Indy 500,
Mhm.
the race over Memorial Day weekend, you can BYOB. You can legitimately bring in a cooler because it's what, 300,000 people that attend this race, and there is
Mhm.
no way that they have the facilities to accommodate that many people for food and beverage. So you're allowed to bring what you want, and I believe it's long as it's not glass, if I think if that's I'm correct.
I think so, but there's probably no way to check that,
Right,
honestly,
but I
with
mean,
all the
did
amount
they
of
check your
people.
cooler when you came in?
I don't necessarily remember. Probably I
You
don't
didn't
think they
have a
can
cooler,
expect everything. No, we didn't have a cooler, but the experienced people who go every year have it down to the system. So BYOB, it's the greatest party on earth with 300,000 of your closest friends. You can
and
bring
what
whatever beer you want, sit there in the hot sun, and drink your favorite beverages.
it's that to me is just still, like, mind-blowing that the way they could capitalize that, and that they can't. They can't
They
make any
can't.
more you probably can't do anymore.
And then you get to see the creativity of all these fans with what they're bringing in and how they're transporting it, things like that. It's kind of fun.
Was there anything notable that I mean, I'm not that creative, so I would be like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and a bottle of wine. That's not
There's some classy Jello shots.
yeah, that's how you make friends,
They make
really.
friends. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing brings a race and a party together like some Jello shots.
I mean, well, I've told this on the podcast before, but the Jello shot story from the Kentucky Derby,
There you go. See,
where we bought some from a house in the neighborhood of Churchill Down. Just stopped the bus and picked up some well, no, the bus didn't actually
you're
stop, it was
stuck
stuck
in
in traffic.
traffic, right? Yeah.
But go pick up some Jello shots for the bus because that's how you make friends, and
Yep.
someone's gotta even out the mint juleps.
Yes. Jello and juleps. That could be just there's some marketing for you.
Well, what if you did Jello shot juleps? Mint
Just
Jello shots?
yeah.
Give you
Just
good breath as well?
just revolutionized everything.
Oh god, that just makes me wanna
The
throw
best
up.
of both worlds.
And one of the last ones I wanna talk about is the Masters. The Masters drink of choice is the Azalea, which you can actually get a make-at-home kit, that they've been selling they sold last
Mhm.
year for about $65. The kit does not come with vodka, but you're supposed to, add vodka to your lemon juice, pineapple, grenadine. It's kind of a pink color, just like the azaleas on the course. But they are known for really cheap concessions, which includes beer and wine.
You would think the fanciest golf tournament in the world would have the most expensive prices, but it does not. So they've kept them low. They have efficient concessions, so there's no lines. You just walk up, grab and go. And then you have cheap cocktails like the
I mean,
Azalea that probably
6
tastes like exactly what you think the Masters smells like
probably true.
on the
I know
TV.
their beer and wine is $6. I couldn't quite locate a price for the azalea, which makes me think its price might shift, depending on
They
the
do whatever
year.
they want. Yeah.
That's true. Depending on what kind of year it is for the azaleas.
Yeah.
So, I mean, we've covered quite a few different cocktails. We obviously have done an episode, so if you haven't watched it, listened to it yet, or watched it if you're on YouTube, about athletes to thank for your hangover. We've talked all about athletes who own different alcohol brands, and there's a ton of those out there too.
Mhm.
So everyone's diving into it seems like everyone's diving into the non-alcoholic market right now, but we still have people that are full on in the beverage business.
And the business is strong, as you can see.
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, thank you for sharing your wisdom with us, and I look forward to seeing you next week for our podcast episode. Thanks, Scott.
Thank you.